It's a beautiful snowy morning out here. Oh man, it says it's 12 degrees air temperature, getting colder all the time. Ugh, potholes. But yeah, we got some powder last night. It's not deep, but it's very slippery. And you know what? So far, these Yokohama tires are doing okay. They're not the best that I've ever had, but they're not the worst I've ever had either. They're holding their own. They're doing all right. I'm in two-wheel drive on purpose. And you know, I haven't really been slipping and sliding much yet. But the hill is still coming up though. So here's the part that you have to be really careful with, and that's going down the hill. Oh look, and I just happen to have a neighbor behind me. I guess she's gonna wait and see if I make it. But usually what I do is I put the truck in neutral so I don't have all that torque trying to push me. So I just set it in neutral and use the brakes and just ease down the hill. And it's working out pretty good. The Yokohama XATs are gripping pretty well. No sliding or slipping. Everything's going all right. Question is, can I go back up this hill? And it turns out the answer is yes. Going up the hill proved to be just as easy as going down the hill. These Yokohama XATs do provide good grip in the snow. Like I said, not the best tire that I've ever used, but certainly not the worst either. I would say these are maybe average or a little bit above average for this category of tire, but you know, they are built really well, super rugged, never had any trouble with them, and they provide pretty good grip going up and down, even in the snow. So can't really fault them for anything. They do a pretty good job. If you're going to buy some of these tires, if this is the one that you really have your eyes on, I don't think you'll be disappointed. So as I wrap up my time with these Yokohama Geolandar XAT tires, I thought it would be interesting, I guess, if we could do a little bit of a sound clip video. So, you know, I always say after you cross rotate tires, they get a little bit more noise in them, right? Well, these have had several cross rotations at this point, so I'm gonna hush here for a minute and hopefully the camera will pick up what road noise there is from these tires. See if you can hear it. So right now I'm running down the road at about 55 miles an hour, and they do have a hum to them. You can definitely tell they're there. They're not quite as loud as a mud tire, but pretty close, I would say. So it is a little bit interesting that they got that much noise in them over time. Now again, you know, these have been on 3 different trucks. I don't know that they've always been cross-rotated regularly like they should have been, but in any case, it is a somewhat noisy tire. So if you're looking for something that's super quiet out on the highway, this is probably not it, but it's not bad. I don't want to give the impression that it'll drive you crazy, because it really doesn't, especially if you're used to having aggressive tires. But they do have a little noise in them. Well, it's the end of the road for the Yokohama Geolandar XAT. This is going to be the end of my long-term review on these tires, as they're coming up on 40,000 miles now. Before I completely end the video, I'll bring the camera back over and get one more close-up look at the treads so you can see how they look. But like I said, these tires have been on 3 different trucks now. All of them were full-size diesel trucks, so they've had a lot of pressure and weight and wear put on them. They've been really put through their paces, gravel roads every day, hauling, towing, snow, ice, heavy rain, as you've seen. They've been through everything, and honestly, they've done pretty well. I don't really have any complaints with them. They're a little bit noisy. You may have heard some of that, road noise in that one clip. So, they've got a little bit of noise in them, but they're pretty good tires. I think I said this in one of the prior videos, and this is probably a good way to put it. These are not the best tire on the market. There are tires like the Falcons, for example, that perform a little better. But these are certainly not a bad tire either. I mean, you can't go wrong with these. If you've got the Geolandar XAT tires, they're pretty good tires. And if you're thinking about buying them, you're not going to go wrong with them. It is a good tire. Super rugged. No problems at all with this tire as far as construction, build quality. Never had any low tires or flats or anything like that. The rain traction has been pretty good, I think. These trucks with the diesel engines, they're real heavy on the front end and therefore kind of light on the rear end. The weight distribution is kind of wacky on these. So they do tend to spin the rear tires pretty easily. Doesn't matter which tire you have on it, But I can just tell from driving on these in the heavy rain that they're actually a pretty decent rain tire. To be so aggressive, they do pretty well. I guess this is one of my other complaints right here. They pick up gravel pretty bad. They do tend to grab onto the gravel, the small stones, and then they throw them when you hit the highway, and your tires start spinning faster. They throw them out on your paint. That's kind of annoying, I guess. So the road noise maybe could be a complaint. The way they grab the gravel, I guess, would be another complaint. But anyway, the traction's been pretty good. The snow traction has been pretty good too. You remember we had that snow about a week ago or so, and it was the roads were kind of a disaster, to be honest, there for several days. And I didn't have any complaints out of these tires whatsoever. I feel like the snow traction was really good. Especially in 4-wheel drive, you get all that weight on the front end. So you put these trucks in 4-wheel drive and then they really will go just about anywhere. And these tires never really gave me any issues in the snow at all. I feel like it's a pretty good snow tire. Now, in the very first video years ago, I mentioned that these are not 3 Peak Mountain Snowflake rated, so they don't technically have that severe snow rating on them. So if you need that, if you live in an area where that's required for you to either have that rating or run chains, this is probably not the tire for you because it doesn't have that rating on it. But that doesn't mean that it's not a good snow tire. I mean, they do perform really well in the snow, as you've seen. So I don't really have any complaints about the rain traction. I don't have any complaints at all about the snow traction. Traction in general, I don't have any complaints about them. Like I said, it's not the best out there. I still think the Falcon AT3 so far has been the best tire that I've ever run, but these are definitely a good tire. They do have wear indicators, and I'm coming down pretty close to one of the wear indicators there, looks like. So anyhow, they've been a pretty good tire, especially for what I paid for them 4 years ago when I first bought them. They've gotten really expensive now, but they're a pretty good tire, and I don't think you can go wrong with these. So we're going to send these out to pasture. Actually, I'm not going to get rid of them. I'm going to keep these tires. I'm probably going to just stack them back up in the barn for now. Probably will use them on another project within the next year or so. Might even put them on my son's truck. He's getting ready to start driving here pretty soon, hopefully this summer. So we may do some more work on the F-150 and put these on there. Since they do have some tread life left on them, they should be fine for him driving around town and stuff, So I may keep them, and you may see them again on another project. But I'm going to take them off the truck tomorrow. We're going to put the AT4 Falcons on here, start doing a long-term review on the Falcon tires. So that'll be very interesting. But yeah, let me get the camera. We'll take one more close-up look at the tread here, and then we'll say goodbye to these. So you can see the tread is, here, let me zoom out a little bit actually. There's still some tread life left. Here's that wear bar right here, that wear indicator. Getting pretty close. Don't have an exact measurement, but it looks like a millimeter or two there. Like I said, the center tread wore down a little faster because I think at some point these were run at a little bit too high of tire pressure. So the center kind of wore down faster than it should have. Still got pretty decent tread out here on the outer lugs. I mean, you can see they're wearing pretty well though. I mean, there's not, you don't see any heavy feathering or chopping or anything. You know, they're wearing pretty smooth across the face of the tire. So, you know, like I said, they've been a pretty good tire and you can't go wrong with them, but time to move on. So Yokohama, you got a good tire on your hands. Now let's see what the Falcons can do. Thanks for watching, guys. If you got any questions about these, drop them below. We'll talk to you later.